Mischievous.
Fun.
Humorous.
A treasure.
Compassion.
One word to describe Austin Bunch. There are many one words.
Storyteller.
Genuine.
Troublemaker.
Service.
Unique.
Generous.
The Legends Award was actually created and named by Austin Bunch. I remember working together, and his words that made it into the description of the award were, it had to be for people who could not be left out of writing Pitt County's history. And indeed, that is true of Austin Bunch.
He reached out and engaged with the community and all kinds of activities to make this a better place to live and to work.
I just knew he was committed to the community, to that university, to education, to just about everything. When somebody would ask me what was he involved in, it didn't take long to come up with a list.
Whether Austin was advocating for a new dental school, indigent care funding, resources for enrollment growth, or whatever the strategic project may be, he made a lasting impact on our community and on our state.
He worked as my chief of staff for the first 5 years, and the amazing thing about Austin was that he knew how to get results. He knew how to implement policy, he knew how to get tough tasks done.
The Austin that I knew, whether it was the Chamber of Commerce or the Boys and Girls Club or Go Science, was a leader because leaders do the right thing.
Austin was definitely an authentic individual, and the legacy that he leaves not only at East Carolina but in the Greenville-Pitt County community and probably in many other communities as well is truly everlasting and has a profound impact on the lives and the people he touched.
Austin was very selfless. He would give of his time. He was abundantly generous with mentoring other people.
You know, we all have that special person in our life that we can point to who made a significant and a purposeful impact on us personally, on us professionally, or in some other meaningful way. And for me, Austin is that person.
Sometimes people lost track of how intelligent and insightful he was. He was especially insightful about people issues.
Austin never met a stranger. He was someone that was very engaging, and almost anyone that he met, he could find common ground.
Never known anyone who was better at friendship than Austin.
And he was a very compassionate individual. He cared about and respected all walks of life.
Everyone in the halls of the legislature knew Austin's name, and without question shared an inside joke with him.
Austin made everybody around him feel comfortable, and he knew how to create a positive workplace.
And he dearly loved his family and his friends and his colleagues.
Austin was a true person, and by that I mean when he told you something, he meant it.
He did live a joyful and delighted and lively life, and he was so much fun to be around.
To me, Austin was the perfect combination of honor, of honesty, and of fun.
He was just a fantastic human being, humorous to the point of he could always tell a joke, sometimes at the inopportune time, but he always had a sense of humor that seemed to diffuse any kind of difficult situation.
If anybody were going to describe Austin, I think they would say that he is was a man with a tremendous sense of humor. But that humor sometimes, I think, was something that people saw but didn't see the confidence that was behind that humor.
Austin was one of the funniest people I ever knew. He could make you laugh, he could make you feel better regardless of the situation. So I think in his next life he might actually be a comedian.
I remember meeting him for the first time, and he just had story after story that just drew you in and made you feel welcome, and that's one of the things that I really loved about Austin.
Austin was one of those people that it was hard to replicate his stories because of the way he told them. Even when I tried to tell an Austin story, it was just an epic fail. And so the best thing about Austin was just to listen to him.
And Austin told a story about going in as a sophomore in a room full of freshmen in the ROTC program and having the sergeant and the instructor stand up in front and say, "Where is my sophomore?" And Austin in the back raised his hand and he said, "I'm over here." He said, "Come up here, boy." And he said he walked up to the front of the class and said, the instructor looked at him and said, "I want you to turn around and order arms for the class." You know, like right shoulder arm, left shoulder arm, and the like. And Austin had no idea what he was talking about. And he said he looked at the sergeant and said, "Excuse me?" And he said, "I want you to turn around and I want you to order arms for the class." So Austin turned around to the class and said, "How many of y'all want arms?"
So one of my favorite stories with Austin is the one with the torch that's associated with the chairman of the board. For years, there was this nice ornamental torch that signified the passing of the guard. And so with this torch that had preceded him for many years, when it came to Austin, he held it for the year of his chairmanship, but then he lost it. So as it was time to transition to the new chair, looking everywhere, it couldn't be found. So Austin, and I believe Dr. Croskery, came up with a plastic deli knife and some paper and hand sketched a torch, cut it out, taped it together, and lo and behold, we now have the paper torch that is handed from one chairmanship to the next.
One of my favorite stories is we were with the family down at the beach, and Austin and Wanda have a little Maltese, which Austin named Muffin Von Biscuit. So he decides to take Muffin for a swim in the Atlantic Ocean, and of course the wave knocks him down. So in a manner to retrieve and protect Muffin, Austin gets the dog out of the water, comes back to the beach condo, and he's down to his underwear soaking wet in an attempt to save little Muffin Von Biscuit.
I remember when my husband passed and he and Marilyn came to visit with me, and Austin walked in my home and told me I needed to change my shoes and that I had on some ugly shoes. This was like a day after my husband had passed, and all I could do was laugh at that, and secondly, go change my shoes.
He had an open door all the time. No matter who you were, if you were sweeping the floors or if you were the chancellor of the university, you could walk into Austin's office. He would stop what he was doing. He would tell you a story that would make you laugh. Every time I saw him, I felt better afterwards than I did before. And that's what I miss most. I miss walking away from him with a big smile, knowing he had an impact on my day.
Austin was well known for wanting to go to lunch every day, and often those lunches would involve me, and he and I just had a great time together talking about the events of the day, and he would obviously put his humorous spin on most everything. I miss those very much.
We would talk about work and family and any variety of things, and I learned a lot from him. He was a great mentor, and so I miss that. I miss that time with him and think about him often.
I'm really going to miss that smile. I'm going to miss his humor. I'm going to miss his compassion. I'm going to miss his advice.
I miss Austin's sense of humor and the brightness that he has.
So while he had a great sense of humor that I'll always miss, I will also miss his insight, his judgment, and his wisdom that he brought to our office.
I miss having the real conversations, no matter how tough those conversations were.
I miss his presence.
I miss seeing his face. I miss seeing his smile.
I miss my friend. I miss my mentor.
From day to day, I miss his friendship, his slapstick interaction.
I already miss him deeply, especially his fun personality, his humorous quips, and his trustworthy guidance.
And so why did we love him so much? Simply because he loved life. He loved all kinds of people. He accepted people. He dealt with little ones and old ones. It was just a phenomenal thing to be around him. So we all miss him. He's left a hole because he just loved everything about being here.
My heart goes out. My prayers are with you, Wanda, Adam, John, and to all of you who miss Austin's presence. Thank you so much for this opportunity to honor him.
Here's to you, Austin, dear friend.